Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we are reading chapters 35 and 36 of Tower of God. So in the last chapters, we got a little bit into Anak's backstory, learning about her parents, mostly her mom, not so much her dad. We got like a brief glimpse of him, but he wasn't really part of the story. Kind of getting some context about why Anak the Second feels as she does, specifically about like the King of Jihad and all of the princesses and stuff like that. She's got some anger that she needs to work through, to say the least. But we did get some interactions between her and Endorsi that kind of hint that maybe Endorsi also might have some issues with being one of these princesses. I think it's a little bit more limiting than she was expecting. I think she wanted kind of the power and like the notoriety, the title, that kind of a thing, especially since it seems like everyone comes from the noble houses, so she probably had a lot of pressure on her from like, I'm assuming her family to also be part of this. I'm assuming there's like generations that kind of become princesses of jihad. I'm assuming it's like fairly nice title to have, so I think maybe it wasn't exactly what she was thinking it would be, so she might be kind of recalculating it a little bit, especially since one of the big things is like you can't be in a romantic relationship, so maybe that is something that is eating up at her. I don't know her super well, but she seems to have at least like fun with what she's doing, nothing else. And we also got back into Bum's story and Kun and kind of going back to some of the other things that are going on, and kind of had a little bit of a lighthearted moment of, Bum and Kun coming up with a plan of like how to get Endorsi to sign the paper for Hats and getting, his list thing for his assignment done. So I've got a little bit of both kind of tones in the last couple of chapters of like really dark, emotional stuff, and then getting a little bit more fun, light-hearted stuff. Though we did have a very interesting conversation between Kun and Bam talking about how you can't like save everybody, like not everybody is going to pass this test, pass to the next part. Some people are going to be left behind, and I feel like that's a really good thing to kind of bring up now. I feel like it's foreshadowing of not everybody is gonna make it. If you want to make it to the next part of the tower, some people are gonna have to not make it too. Like that's how Bomb got to this point. So it's kind of shining a light on the fact I don't think Bomb fully comprehends what he got himself into. Like I feel like he very much just kind of leapt at the chance of following Rachel, and he was like, that's all I want, that's what I'm going to go after. And now he's sort of figuring out his life separate from her, and he has friends, and he's got like stuff going on. He's learning about like Shinsu and stuff. I think his goal is still to be with Rachel. She's just like not around, so he's becoming stronger so that she'll, I guess, be okay with him being around. I don't really know what the plan is. I don't know if he's thought that far through, but he is continuing his journey on the tower, and he's being his own person in a way that I think he hasn't in a like ever. So I don't think he fully comprehends what the tower is and what he has decided to be a part of. So I feel like that is going to come up soon at some point, but still a lot of threads that are kind of starting, but we're kind of in holding position a little bit as everyone goes through their classes and training and stuff like that. But let's just get into chapter 35. Okay, chapter 35. It looks like we're back with the guy that has like power of like prophecy or whatever. I feel like the person in the cloak is Rachel because she's trying to not be noticed by Bomb. That's like her tactic right now. See, blonde, I just assume Rachel. Because that was what she was doing before when they were in the bonus test thing. So I'm assuming that's what's going on. Also, are we talking about Lady Yuri? Because I really want Lady Yuri to come back. I was Endorsi talking about Lady Yuri, like how she knows her. I was wondering like how much the princesses of Jihad like interacted with each other, because we haven't really seen ones that like actually know each other. Like we've had like Endorsi and Anak who like met during like the different exams and stuff like that, but it's not the same as like seeing the two that like actually get a chance to get to know each other. Especially since Endorsi, I'm pretty sure, talked about how Anak the First had left already before she became a princess. I'm pretty sure she didn't know her personally, so we haven't seen like an actual interaction of like what the princesses think or feel for each other when they aren't like, trying to kill each other in a test. I love how Bomb is like, she was so nice. And then he's also like, well, I mean, she did kick me on sight. I'm like, she did. She did greet you by kicking you. Or like landing on his head or something. I love Lady Yuri though. We got like a little hint that she was like on the move still, coming after the Black March. And I really want her to come back. Although Bomb is like at that point where he's just like constantly trying to make excuses for people's behavior. And I feel like that's such a important part of where he's at right now in his character. But at the same time, like maybe we don't just forgive people for doing awful things to us. Maybe, because I'm looking at a panel with who I'm assuming is Rachel, and like maybe we don't forgive people for being awful. It's just a crazy idea that I'm throwing out there into the ether. And Dorsey just assumes that Lady Yuri was doing something awful, like she's bribing or has some kind of plan or is like threatening Bomb in some way. And Mom's just like, no, I think she was actually kind of nice. Oh, do we have a new thing? Hide and seek? Because we were dealing with the Princess of Jahan before, so we got like a new little mini arc thing going on. See? No, it was Rachel. They try to play mind games with me and they're like, is it Rachel? And I'm like, yeah, it is. The girl in the ponytail. Blonde, ponytail, Rachel. I always get it right. Oh, I'm sorry. Michelle. So, does Dorsey know that Rachel's name is Rachel because they were on a team temporarily together and she like told her? Or was there some kind of interaction earlier on before she like registered as Michelle Light? So they're close enough for Dorsey to keep a secret for Rachel? Because I don't actually know, because, you know, just because Bomb and like his temporary teammates were like friendly together and they still like talk and have gotten closer together, though I don't know where Rock is. I really miss him. Anyway, just because that example was like them becoming friends doesn't mean that the other teams were also like that. Like it could have been just whoever you were near was who you were in team with, so you just had to be on a team because that's the way that things worked out. It doesn't make you automatically friendly with each other. So I don't really know what Rachel and Dorsey's like relationship to each other is. But it seems like they're close enough that Dorsey's like, I'm gonna keep your secret for you. I don't get her reasons either. Dorsey, you and me, like, what if you don't want him to come with you, just say it to his face, okay? Like, just communicate your feelings, your thoughts. None of this lies and deception, none of this bringing Coon into your weird thing that you're doing, okay? I called it way earlier on that I was like, Rachel's a manipulator, and I'm not seeing anything that makes me change my mind. We did have that like dream that Rachel was having where it was like she was off on her own with all the stars, but then she looked over and there was Bomb and he was like interacting with all these people. Like, I do feel like Rachel is kind of focused on kind of the freedom aspect of like being able to see the sky, and like I feel like she wants to get out of the tower more than anything because, you know, she kind of grew up in this underground place, so I feel like freedom is more what her desire is than anything else. But at the same time, like, what do you do after that? Like, that is like a finite thing that, like, I mean, maybe not, because you kind of have to constantly fight for being able to be yourself and stuff like that. But like, I mean, you get to the top of the tower, let's say she gets out of the tower, she gets to go on and live her life and be free in the open air or whatever. But then like, what is she gonna do? Like, does she have a job idea? I mean, I guess she's gonna be a ranker then, but that would mean like going back into the tower. Is she gonna want to do that? I don't think so. Who are you gonna share it with? Who are you gonna trust? Who's gonna help you on the journey? I'm just saying. I feel like it's not more valuable than like, it doesn't necessarily have to be with Bomb because like I said, I don't trust her, so I don't know if I want her messing with Bomb. But like somebody, you know, like some kind of friendship, some kind of connection with one of the people. Somebody. That's shading though. Sorry, I'm gonna get distracted by the artwork, but is that what that says? I can't. It doesn't sound like, it doesn't look like Michelle to me. But whose list is it then? Is it Dorsey's signature or Rachel's assignment? I can't remember what class she's in. Because I didn't know that her name was changed to Michelle when we got the list. So maybe it was with Shibitsu and Hans. I feel like it was. I'm gonna beat myself up for not remembering that. I apologize. I would totally support Dorsey telling Bomb that Rachel is there, though I feel like he kind of knows. Like, maybe he doesn't know the Michelle specifically, but he knows that she's around. Like, I feel like we already had the moment where Bomb was like, it was definitely Rachel. Like, I don't know why people are telling me it wasn't. I know it was, so I'm just gonna like go through the training and like figure out how to be a good Shinsu user, powerful fighter, whatever, to like, I don't know, be good enough for her. But I feel like he knows. Maybe not like the specifics, but he knows. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna remember all of that. I'm just putting it out now that I'm not gonna remember that there's like Okay, so the basic units, so there's like a certain number of bang that you can produce that is a certain strength of the Shinsu that you were using because it's a unit. And then Myeon, it's always there's so many languages that are kind of jumbled together in this story that I can never tell which one we're pulling from. I want to say Korean, but then I'm like, just because it's written originally in Korean doesn't mean that that's like actually the language that we're using for this specific point detail. But then the size is Myun, and then the consistency is So. So kind of like three elements that kind of come together to explain like how powerful it is. So like I'm assuming like the basic unit is like, I don't know how much there is. Look, I feel like I'm trying to figure it out with minimal information, and it's gonna like further explain it to me in later panels, so I'm just gonna like stop talking, let the rice ball explain. Okay, bang, most important. Gotcha. So does that mean that the little orb thing that Bam has been creating is like one bang, perhaps? And then you can, I'm assuming you can kind of like gather together, kind of like water, you know, like you can have like a liter of water, but then like if you can pour like multiple liters into like one container. So I'm assuming that like it all kind of flows together into like a single thing that you can control when you're actually fighting against someone or needing to do something with Shinsu, but like it's still, you can still like break it up into liters, which is like just the unit of measurement. Okay, so the little orb thing, one bang, so it has to be balanced. Well, at least like focus wise. I'm assuming that you can like perhaps make something like more dense, like one bang more dense than the other, or even like possibly larger than the other, but your focus has to be balanced. He did just create two though, which is impressive, I would assume. Right, because he learned how to make the first bang like immediately, and everyone was like, what was that? Like Ho was like, oh, it took me forever to figure that out. And then Bam's like, just does it. And even though he wasn't able to like sustain having two of them at once, he still was able to make two and like for a brief time have both of them. Which, I mean, that's impressive, okay? It doesn't look it, but like, good for him. King of geniuses. We also had kind of Ho being a little bit possibly jealous, and I feel like that's kind of a thing that might come up because if you have someone who's like very, I don't know if gullible is the right word, but very innocent, you know, Bam is very trusting and he doesn't really have a lot of experience with like people not treating him well, like with people in general, but like he also doesn't register when people like take advantage of him or anything like that. So I feel like him just kind of openly having this ability, like he, I don't know, I wouldn't think he would try to hide it because like lying is bad to him, so he would just be like open about what he can do, and as a result people are going to be jealous. They're going to want to use that power for their own means. They're going to want to manipulate him. Like I feel like there's a lot that could happen now that he's showing that he's not just like some random person who like wandered into the tower who doesn't have any fighting skills and stuff like that. Like he has value in some people's eyes that could help them coming tests and getting up the tower and stuff like that. So I do worry about how people are going to treat him in the upcoming part of the story. We cut to a panel with Ho. I feel like maybe there's something going on. I want to believe that he's like, you know, fine and nice and we can trust him, but at the same time, I'm getting some weird vibes. I mean, there is something that is hiding, and that's that he, you know, forced his way into the tower, which, you know, irregular and can cause a little bit of chaos, maybe. I feel like there's also a mystery, like, to himself about, like, who he is, because we don't have any background on him. Like, the first kind of memory that we have learning anything about Bam is when Rachel found him. So we don't really have a lot of context for where he came from or who he is, and we don't know about any family up to that point, other friends. Like it seems like even Bam wouldn't know, which I feel like is a big mystery in and of itself, that maybe we'll find out something about Bam. Does it matter? Maybe if he's got like, he's really good with Shinsu, if he's connected to like the noble houses, families and stuff, then like maybe it's important. But I feel like Ho's like a little bit jealous and kind of trying to find reasons to justify it besides like, you know, him working really hard, I'm assuming, to become even somewhat able to control Shinsu, and now he's like found someone who's just kind of like doing really well for themselves off the bat. That's gotta be frustrating, you know, when you work like so hard for something, especially like if there are people in your life that are pressuring you to be really good at it. You guys probably had this where like your family, there are like family members that you have that are like really good at something, and then everyone just kind of expects you to also be good at it. And like, it doesn't really matter if you have a passion for it or if you do have a talent. People are just like, well, you're like good at the thing too, right? Like sports or art or whatever. And you're like, not really. You have to work really hard to fit in with your family and like the group that you are with because they're all really good at the thing or they're all really passionate about this thing. And you're like, I don't know, like not really my thing. I'm not really good at it. It takes a lot of work on my part. So I feel like there's some other baggage to why Ho is like being a little suspicious of Bomb. Just my opinion though. We'll see how that pans out. I love that the Ray is just like out. Like he's like, whatever. I mean, he seems interested in Bomb. He's been helping him out and stuff like that. So I feel like the Ray is not jealous or threatened because he's like, I'm great at this anyway. Got one going. Good. See, letting your feelings get in the way. You're not going to be able to control something and have it be stable if you can't, like, you know, find your zen or whatever. Don't put pressure. I see you, rice ball teacher, okay? Feel like you're pushing buttons. You're trying to see what's going on. You had that whole, like, ominous thing where you're like, people are going to be jealous of this, and now you're, like, seeing someone who might be jealous of Bomb, and you're like, let me see how I can maneuver this. I see you, okay? Excuse? What? Is it a flashback? Is it, like, a shadow puppet thing? What? Why? Who are you? Why are we eating people? What the heck was that? Note a summons? See who's manipulating? Especially since I feel like because it's like Michelle, Rachel. So I feel like it's someone who knows Michelle and Rachel are the same person and that they have a connection to Bomb. And I'm sure that like if Bomb finds out that Rachel is Michelle, that she's actually there and she fails the test, then he's also going to want to fail because he's not going to want to like proceed up the tower without her. So I see what the plan is. I just disapprove. But I also, this part where they're like, nobody will suspect you, I don't trust that. Because if this person has a plan and they're like, it's simple, we just make Michelle fail and then Bomb will fail and then it'll be fine. If that's what happens, if that's the plan, then why don't you just do it yourself? Why do you need Ho to do it? Because you want somebody to pin it on, okay? I'm getting a lot of manipulative vibes throughout this whole thing. I bet it's the leotard girl. Because she seems like she's got something to gain for Bomb not passing, because she's also a wave controller, so she'll be able to pass or have a better chance of passing if Bomb isn't there. And she's got a grudge against him because of the whole fight thing, and she was there with the whole Rachel Bomb interaction, so she's got all the knowledge and the grudge motive thing. Maybe this is because I've been watching a lot of like true crime docs recently that I'm just like suspicious of everybody. Maybe I need like a lighter media to like take me out of just being suspicious and paranoid about everything. Maybe don't like scream and like or yell and open up your door into the hallway. I'd be a little bit suspicious, which was like, oh, you're a full black? Hello. I believe we read your name. But I don't remember your face. I feel like I would. But hello. See, never trust somebody whose eyes are in shadow. It's always because they're hiding something. On to the next chapter. Chapter 36. Lororo looks a little intense. Not gonna lie. Shaking? Nervous? What's the paperwork for? A new final plan for the test? What does that mean? Why are we nervous about that? Ooh, hide and seek with a ranger. That like sounds like innocent. But like a ranger, I'm assuming is really good at hunting, you know, like they're trained fighters. They've gone through a lot to like get to the top of the tower and then like, you know, navigating, being in the tower for quite a while. I mean, they seem to live for a while, so I feel like that'd be really dangerous if they're it. You're the seeker, so are you it? Are you the person who's gonna be finding everybody in the hide and seek game? This is a little bit terrifying, actually. If they're just like in part of this floor being hunted by a ranger, like, can they move? Do they have to like find a hiding place and then just like stay put like you do when you're a kid? Or do they just have to like not be found? I just keep thinking about how like the majority of them are like kids. I worry a lot. Oh, does the Roro not think that it's tough enough? Like it should be somebody else? I thought for like a hot minute it might be Lady Yuri because she's a ranker and she's trying to get to effing Kel's floor. But I guess we're going with this red-haired guy? Oh, he's concerned about all of the regulars not surviving, which I mean, fair enough. I feel like putting them up against a ranker on the second floor, I guess, seems like a lot. Seems like a big jump, you know? Even if they are like training and stuff like that. Just, I know it's like a joint test, so I'm assuming that they can like work together and all that, but still. And he's all smiles later on because you just gotta sell the point. Okay, so like they're literally all working together. So it's a like all of them against this one ranker situation. If they can figure out how to work together. Because there's a little bit of animosity between some of them. Look how confident Kun looks though. We love to see it. Oh, okay, teams. So we got Team A. So Hats, Anak, Kun, Shibitsu, Lorray, and some other people whose faces I recognize, and I probably should know their names, but I don't remember. Leotard girl, who I don't trust. Just saying. And then Team B, we have Endorsi, Rachel. Rachel's got the same team as Bomb. Let's see how that works out. We're keeping her secret, I'm just saying. Oh no, this is Hats. That's the other guy. My mistake. I don't know why I thought like that really intense expression would be Hats, because he's pretty chill. Bomb, Ho, who's a little bit suspicious at this point. Gray, remember her. And then Ghost and Rock, that's why we haven't seen him. Did he pass? Did he like figure out the javelin spear throwing thing? He's already qualified. I'm so proud of him. I do miss him though. I really wish he was around. Wait, Kun and Bomb are on different teams. They're breaking them up, but they're friends. Does that, wait, hold up. Is only one team passing? Because I don't think I'm ready to give up Kun. Like, I know I was like paranoid about everybody, you know, I was very defensive of Bomb from the beginning, but like, I like Kun. He's like one of my favorite characters. You can't take him from me. Unless, of course, but okay, like, but even if Bomb's team loses, anyway, because Ho's like, you know, but Ho can't like do that and win himself, but like maybe they lose anyway because Ho's doing weird stuff and it like makes them lose or whatever. Bomb can't lose. He's the main character. And also Hots, I like Hots too, and Dorsey, she's at least seems to be having a fun time. I don't know how I feel about her personally, but I'm so conflicted. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this. I feel like it's gonna stress me out. See, Bomb knows. I knew it. He's not as dumb as people just assume he is, especially Rachel. I feel like she's like thinking of the Bomb that she knew back when, and he's learned a lot since, you know, going into the tower and doing his own thing and meeting lots of other people, so like, he knows that she's there. Aw, I like when Kun's like, how could they separate us? I feel the same way. They're like breaking up the band. What's up with that? A little bit weird numbers. I mean, two of the spear bearers have already passed with Ghost and Rock, so I guess it would have to be a little bit weird with separation of positions and stuff like that. I'm not saying they're put at a disadvantage. I'm just saying that like I want the characters I like to all be on the same team so I know who to cheer for. Is that too much to ask? Maybe. Okay, so maybe a false alarm, because they are being graded individually. So there's like a grade for the team and then there's individual. I'm assuming if like you win the game, then you're going to like automatically have like a certain number of points, like a certain grade. But then even if your team loses, but you do like super well, showing off lots of skills and stuff like that, then you might end up passing anyway. So maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope for Kun because he's really good. I like how I'm just like assuming Bomb's team's gonna win. They might not. I'm just assuming because like, you know, protagonist syndrome. But Kun's really good at what he does, so he might be okay. So Hong Sang grading the teams, and then the individuals we graded by whoever their teacher is. Gotcha. See, Hong Sang's doing that thing where he's looking all nice, happy, approachable. I see through you. I'm super suspicious during all this. I don't know, I feel like everyone's kind of maneuvering in the background. You know, they've been like in the same place for long enough where they haven't really been like outwardly having to like fend for themselves. You know, there's a lot of like combat and kind of quick paced trying to keep up with all the tests and stuff like that was kind of what was happening at the beginning. Whereas like now they've been kind of stagnant for a while, interacting with people, chatting, figuring out people's vibe and what they want and stuff like that. I feel like people have gotten a chance to kind of manipulate and scheme and stuff like that. This could also be because like if it were me, I'd be coming up with a plan. I'm just gonna say it, okay? Like we joke all the time over on my Bleach reactions about me being Aizen's daughter. I mean, I'd be planning something. I'm just saying. See, the switch. Different expression now. Don't be acting all nice. What is the box that we're not supposed to never ever touch and seems to be making noise? It almost seems like a maze that they're going to be in, which like makes sense. Do you guys ever play the like Battle Royale, I think they were called? Like mini game in Mario Kart where like you have like the balloons and you have to like go through like the maze and like weird platforms and stuff and like hit people with items to like make them lose all their balloons and that's how you win. Just give me that vibe. Safe zone is good. Exit, can you like, do you have to figure out a way to like get through the maze and then you can leave? Or do you have to like last a certain time? I'm just gonna read the instructions. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, so it's one person. So it's not like a whole team having to navigate everybody out. So it's like one person from the fishermen lineup specifically. Maybe that's where we're starting. It might be like, we might be going through everybody. I don't know. But a couple being it, and they have to get to the exit. So they have to like, kind of go through the maze thing and get out without the seeker getting them. So it's like tag, hide and seek kind of thing. It's like manhunt. Did you guys ever play that? I live out like in the country and stuff, so it was like some crazy manhunts for us, like in forests and stuff like that, but it's like that. Okay, sensor badge. So you can also get the seeker back. Is it only the person who's it? I'm assuming, because you can't like leave the safe zone if you're not it. Interesting to see if anyone actually manages that, like attempts it or manages it, because it's going to be a ranker, so you have to be like a certain kind of person to be able to pull that off. Anok's gonna try it, isn't she? You just feel it. Seems like something she would do. Shibitsu, asking the right questions. Love seeing a smart boy coming out. He was the one in the box. Why did they put him in a box? Are you gonna go easy on them? I'm calling BS right now. Okay, Team A, starting off. So Kun, Shibitsu, Anok, Lorraine. Oh, I really like Lorraine too. I don't know who I want to win. I'm glad that there was like the caveat that like even if your team doesn't win, it's getting kind of graded as a team, but like you could get enough points individually to pass anyway. At the end of the day, it's individuals passing, not like teams, so there is that. I feel like they're being like, oh, he's like the weakest looking ranker, but like ranker still seems like an intense thing to have to go up against. I feel like they're like, oh, well, he's like not, he doesn't look like he's that powerful. He's still a ranker though, which means he's been to the top of the tower. So like he's probably still significantly stronger than them. I feel like you're kind of underestimating him here. Kun might be getting a little confident, I'm just saying. Is Kun gonna try and take leadership? He seems to take leadership roles. He's like a planner, strategist kind of vibe. But also, like, Lorraine seems to kind of like to be in charge. He's a good strategist too. We saw that in the bonus round. I love Kun's confidence, I'm gonna say that. I also usually end up in a leadership role. I don't know if I choose it or it chooses me. I think I'm just like a confident person, so I feel like people just kind of like latch on to me doing stuff. Because it's like, hey, we need someone who's gonna like talk in front of a bunch of people. I'm like, sure, yeah, easy, I'll do that. Or it's like, we need somebody to come up with like a plan or organize stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. I'm really good at organizing stuff. So I don't know if I choose leadership or it chooses me. I usually, if I was like a group project, I was somehow in charge. If it was like a team of some kind, I was usually in charge. So I feel like Kun and I have some things in common. There's been a few times where we've had similar thought processes. Yeah, no, I was wondering if Kun would be the one who's like, so let's just catch the seeker. I was like, Anok, definitely gonna want to try that. But Kun's also very cocky. I remember when he was like in the bonus round and he was just like, I'll just fight everybody by myself. Like, it'll be fine. And he did really well. So I love how Shibitsu and like Kun, like, I love that Shibitsu has this vibe of like being kind of, you know, the like uncoordinated but kind-hearted sidekick character, but he's just like one of the smartest people there. And I just love that. I love that playing off of people's expectations. Like, he is really nice. Like, he just wants to make friends with people and get along and stuff, but he sees everything, you know? So like, he'll be nice to you, but if you try to like maneuver and do shady stuff, he's gonna pick up on it. So I love that him and Kun just kind of are always on the same page about stuff. They just kind of know what the other is thinking. But I kind of agree. Okay, like, I feel like if you think you can succeed at just going after the seeker, it would be a lot easier to just like have a face-to-face confrontation than like trying to navigate through this like maze structure thing to get to the exit. Like, you have to find the exit and you have to also evade them. Like, there's a lot, like, what if you're just like wandering around and you're like, you know, starting to get cornered into a specific place and you're like on the opposite end from the exit? Like, I don't know how well they know the area, because I'm assuming they don't know how to navigate through it of like a map or anything like that. But you could find the seeker, so I kind of get where they're coming from. I don't know if they're going to be strong enough though. Shibitsu also know a little bit about this particular ranker, and Shibitsu, like I said, he notices things. So we do have a little bit of an advantage, I think. Yeah, I didn't think he would go easy either. I feel like he is very competitive. Speaking as someone who is also very competitive, I don't hold back. I just can't. You know, I can't go easy on people, and I like winning. You know, if I decide that I'm going to be part of something, a competition, a sport, whatever, I want to win. And I can be really mean about it. I don't play certain games and I just kind of stay away from it, you know, because I don't like the person I become. But I feel like he's a similar thing where he's really going to want to win this, especially since he's kind of trying to prove himself to like Hang Sang and, you know, the Ro and stuff. So I feel like he's not going to go easy. I feel like also, one, you wouldn't expect them to just like try to fight him, but two, like, he's not going to run and hide. right? He's gonna want to find them. And if you just like make it easy for him to find you, so you can just like have a confrontation with him, or, you know, make it easy for him to like think he knows who you are, so you can like lure him into a trap of some kind. He's not gonna, you know, turn tail and like hide and kind of scout it out. Like I feel like he's gonna like rush in and try to be kind of grandiose about it, because again, he's trying to prove something. Okay, but if we're nothing compared to that, are we like outsmarting him? What's the plan? I assume Kun has a plan. Shibitsu probably has a plan too. Like Lorray might also have a plan. He's probably taking a nap right now, but if we can wake him up, he's probably got some ideas. There's some good minds on this team. Lorray in the back. I love him. See, Kun's got that evil look in his eye, but thank goodness he seems to be like on the side of good. At least for now. I don't know. I was just talking about how much I like Kun. He's one of my favorite characters and all that, but he's got some darkness. Oh, Shibitsu. Poor thing. Is he it? Or they just like letting him wander around? Do they have some way to communicate with each other? That'd be good. Is it through the sphere? I can't remember what it's called anymore. We literally talked about it in like the last chapter with Bomb talking about Lady Yuri, and I can't remember. I'm bad with names. I'm so sorry. I feel like Kun is like one he just really wants to pass, and I feel like this is going back to what he talked about the last couple of chapters, which was like some people have to fail so that you can pass, and I feel like he's just kind of accepted that there's a chance that he's going to have to do something for himself for him to pass, even if it means that Bomb can't, even if it means he has to like leave some of his friends behind. I really want to know what Kun wants, what his desire is, you know, for going up the tower, besides like probably his family. Like I'm assuming because he's part of like the noble families, that there's some pressure there from that, especially considering there seems to be some negative gossip around his family. There seems to be some people saying some things, so it might be an image thing too, to have him as a member of that family go up the tower and succeed. So I don't really know, but I feel like that's kind of where he's coming from. Like every man for himself. But also I'm sad that Bomb's gonna have to kind of work uphill if they pass this. I like how he just takes cold-hearted as a compliment. I mean, it seems to have worked out okay so far. Yeah, I think he definitely will come. Like I said, he's not gonna run and hide. He's just gonna like come and see what's going on, because he's gonna be confident that he can win. So why would he not engage in fighting against a regular, right? Uh-oh. Was he good at sneaking? Did they underestimate him too? I feel like they were. I feel like Kun doesn't quite know what he's about to get into, because he probably has never been up against a ranker before. Like he's met them obviously because they're around with the tests and stuff like that, but I feel like he's probably never had to legitimately fight one. Scary eyes? Why? I don't like the smirk either. Oh, we're gonna end the chapter, aren't we? No, I always get sad when we finish the chapters. So that was definitely a kind of like setup couple of chapters, obviously because we're going on to this new like hide and seek thing. So we kind of left the Princesses of Jihad story that we were on and going on to this new little mini story that we have. So obviously we have to set up like the next test and everything that's going on, the teams, where everybody's at. So I feel like there's not a whole lot that I need to add at the end. I always feel weird when I'm like talking at the end of these videos, because I feel like I say a lot while I'm reading and then I don't really know what to talk about at the end, but I feel like I don't know how well this fight is gonna go. I don't know if putting like Shibitsu as it, which seems to be what they're doing, is the right plan. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because like he seems unassuming. You know, like he's not like Anak, who's just like really aggressive or whatever. So like maybe that's the thought, like that this ranker wouldn't feel intimidated in any way by Shibitsu. I don't know if he'd feel intimidated anyway, but like the least assuming of the group is probably Shibitsu. So sending him, I don't know if that's a good plan, but Kun seems to be smarter than me. He probably figured out the best way to do this. I don't know how well they can like intervene into it as well. Like I feel like it's just like Shibitsu, maybe he's on his own, maybe they can all help out. I don't really know if it's like he's it. I didn't actually look to see if he had the badge, so I might be wrong about this anyway, but I feel like if they can all help out, then maybe it's okay. Like it's kind of like the crown, you know, someone had to like wear the crown, but like everyone else could help out in the team. Maybe that's what's gonna go on. But it seems that a little bit of a hiccup in the plan with Kun not being able to track and see where Quant, is that his name? Quant, Quant? I think it is. But not being able to see where this ranker is, so they might have to rethink how they're going to go about this plan, especially since I feel like they're underestimating him. I feel like they're kind of estimating what it'll be like to go up against a ranker, even though none of them have done that before, and it just seems like maybe they're shooting a little bit low. Maybe some caution would be acceptable here, but maybe it'll be alright. I don't know. I do hope that everybody kind of gets to show off their skills and stuff though, because that's where the points are going to come in, right? How well they're able at like representing their position. So I hope that the characters that I like do okay. I don't know what Ray will do because he's probably asleep still, but I hope that he like does something cool with Shinsu, you know, like we saw in the bonus round. But I feel like we haven't really gotten into the story yet, so I don't have a lot of context for much of it. You can click this playlist to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so you don't miss the next time I post a Tower of God video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!